The year was 2025, a time that felt both ordinary and extraordinary. I remember the early morning air, crisp and filled with possibility, as I stood at the edge of everything I'd ever known. My heart was pounding with excitement and fear, a wild mix of emotions that made my hands shake and my mind race with questions about what lay ahead. I was finally leaving my small town for an adventure abroad, stepping away from the familiar streets and faces that had shaped my childhood. My backpack was heavy, packed with everything I thought I might need, but my spirit soared even higher, fueled by dreams of distant places and new experiences. The airport was a blur of lights, bustling crowds, and unfamiliar languages swirling around me. Every announcement over the loudspeaker sounded like a secret code I was eager to decipher. I clutched my passport tightly, feeling its weight as a key to a new chapter, a ticket to a world I'd only seen in books and movies. Stepping onto the plane felt surreal. My first flight, my first time leaving home, and the first step into a future I couldn't predict. I found my window seat, hands trembling as I buckled in, glancing out at the runway and wondering if I was truly ready for this leap. The engines roared to life, vibrating through the cabin, and suddenly we were airborne, leaving the ground, my old life and my fears behind. My town shrank below, its streets and rooftops fading into a patchwork quilt, soon lost in a sea of clouds that stretched endlessly in every direction. I felt a rush of freedom, suspended between earth and sky, as if I was floating in a dream where anything was possible. For a few hours, everything was perfect. Movies flickering on tiny screens, meals served with a smile, and the endless blue outside reminding me how big the world truly is. But as I gazed out the window, anticipation and anxiety mingled inside me. I had no idea my survival instincts would soon be tested in ways I could never imagine, and that this journey would change me forever. The first sign of trouble was a sudden metallic clank from the engines, a sound that sliced through the gentle hum of flight and sent a chill down my spine. In that instant, the illusion of safety vanished, replaced by a creeping sense of unease. The cabin's calm shattered as the plane lurched violently, throwing us against our seatbelts. Drinks spilled, conversations stopped mid-sentence, and the world seemed to tilt on its axis. Passengers screamed, loose items slid across the aisle, and the seatbelt sign flashed urgently overhead, casting a red glow that made everything feel more surreal. The overhead bins rattled, threatening to burst open. Fear swept through us, a primal, raw instinct to survive. Faces around me twisted in terror, eyes wide and searching for reassurance that wouldn't come. The plane shuddered again, more violently this time, and the excitement of my journey turned to dread. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing the chaos outside. Then with a hiss, oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, dangling like lifelines in the chaos. The sudden appearance of the masks made the danger real. Panic erupted as we pulled the masks on, the plastic cold and unfamiliar against our faces. Some fumbled with the straps, hands shaking, while others sobbed quietly, clutching the masks as if they were the only thing keeping us tethered to life. The world outside tilted at an impossible angle. Through the window, clouds spun past as we descended rapidly. We were falling, and every second felt stretched and distorted. The flight attendants moved quickly, their voices steady but urgent as they instructed us through the chaos. Their professionalism was a thin thread of hope in the storm of panic. The air felt thin, my breathing ragged and shallow behind the mask. Each inhale was a struggle, my mind racing with fear and disbelief. I gripped the armrests, knuckles white, thinking of home and the people I loved. Memories flashed before my eyes, sharp and vivid. This was no longer an adventure, it was a fight to survive. In those moments, paradise felt impossibly far away, replaced by a desperate hope that we would make it through the storm. Amid the panic, as the plane shuddered and the cabin filled with anxious whispers, fear was almost tangible. The turbulence seemed endless, and every jolt sent a fresh wave of worry through the passengers. Some clutched their armrests, others exchanged nervous glances, and a few closed their eyes, hoping for reassurance. Then, the pilot's voice cut through, steady, calm, and commanding, a beacon of reassurance in the chaos. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking." His words were clear, measured, and confident, instantly drawing everyone's attention. He explained we'd lost an engine and were diverting for an emergency landing. There was no sugarcoating, just the facts, delivered with unwavering composure. His honesty and composure anchored us, providing a sense of stability when everything else felt uncertain. He gave us facts, not false hope, and kept us informed every step. Each update was detailed, letting us know exactly what was happening and what to expect. We have shut down the affected engine. The aircraft can fly safely on one. His assurance was rooted in expertise, not empty promises. He updated us regularly, his calm infectious, spreading through the cabin and helping to ease our collective anxiety. The flight attendants mirrored his professionalism, moving with purpose and confidence, their actions reinforcing the sense of control. The pilot's voice became our lifeline, guiding us through the crisis, a steady presence we could all rely on. He never sounded scared, just focused, determined, and in command of the situation. If he could stay calm, so could we. His demeanor gave us permission to breathe, to trust, and to hope for a safe landing. In that moment, he was our leader, the person we all looked to for strength and guidance. His voice was the strongest thing on the plane, carrying us through the storm with unwavering resolve and quiet courage. The descent felt endless, every second stretched by fear and hope. I watched the ocean draw closer, then a thin line of land appeared on the horizon. The flight attendants worked with quiet heroism, checking seatbelts and offering strained but brave smiles. Their discipline kept panic at bay. The pilot's final announcement, "Brace for impact!" I lowered my head, heart pounding. The runway came into view, lined with emergency vehicles. The plane touched down with a jolt and screech. We slowed, then stopped. Relief and applause erupted, tears of survival, not fear. We were safe. We had made it. The ordeal was over, but its impact would last forever. Silence filled the cabin, broken only by weeping. We evacuated quickly, guided by the incredible crew. Stepping onto solid ground felt like a second chance at life. In the terminal, the pilot emerged, tired but standing tall. He spoke with passengers, humble and calm. I thanked him, barely finding the words. He said he was just doing his job, but I knew it was more. That day, my definition of a hero changed. A hero is someone who stays calm and leads in crisis. The pilot's courage and leadership saved us all. My first trip abroad became a lesson in true bravery. The greatest adventures reveal the strength within us and in those who guide us through the storm.